Hey everybody, it's your Uncle Bear. So I was watching a video the other day, and it was an interesting video. It wasn't bad or offensive or anything like that, but it mentioned Gen Xers, which, as you know, I'm 59 years old, born in 1966, so I'm right in there. But anyway, it said something about Gen Xers were traumatized when we were growing up, and it's kind of comical because the majority of Gen Xers, we loved our upbringing. We loved our youth. The only video game that we had at home, most of us, was Pong. Which was basically two lines on either side of your TV screen and a dot that went back and forth, and you could adjust the speed of the dot, and you could adjust the lines, which were vertical. You could adjust them from short to long. That's it. That was the game. It was like tennis, basically. But if you wanted the good video games, you had to go to either a video arcade or Pizza Hut's had sit-down Pac-Man. That was cool. But you had to go to a video arcade, or like our roller skating rink had a wide variety of video games. But your dad usually, my dad anyway, he said, I'm not going to give you a bunch of money to go put in some other guy's machines. So if you want to waste money on that crap, because you don't win any money, he said, if you want to go waste your money on that, or if you want to go roller skating or whatever, you need to go shovel snow, mow lawns, rake leaves, babysit, whatever. So it basically taught us work ethic, if you think about it. So anyway, we had that, you always hear about, our moms kicked us out of the house, for the day during the summer, and that's true. We were told to go because there really wasn't much to do in the house. We had 3 channels on the TV, plus I think it was ABC, CBS, and NBC, and then you had PBS, which is where you found Sesame Street and stuff like that. But there really wasn't a whole hell of a lot to do in the house. So yeah, we were told to go outside and do shit. And and that's what we did. We rode bicycle, we went to the park, we played ball. During the summertime when I was growing up, the local park and rec department, they handled all that stuff. There was tennis lessons and swimming lessons and the baseball league, and there was just tons of stuff. You could still get in trouble, but you had to get in trouble in between all the other shit going on, because they had, they even had a drama club during the summertime, and it was, like I say, you had a packed day. And we were physical education, gym class in school. Back then it wasn't an elective like it is now. It was mandatory, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because we didn't have near as many fat kids roaming around as we do nowadays. You had to go exercise, and that was good. I'm glad of it, and I was a fat kid, so I sprouted up when I hit junior high. I started getting taller, kind of stretched it out a little bit, but it's all right. It caught back up to me a little bit in my old age. But no, seriously, being Gen X, it was good times. It was good times, and like I say, the majority of the Gen Xers, we would go back to that time in a minute. everything wasn't instantaneous as it is now. You know, if you wanted to call home, you had to go find a payphone, and you know, it cost a dime back then, I think. But yeah, you went and found a payphone, called home. You knew the number of the local theater by heart. You know, you call the local theater from home and find out what movies were playing and the times. You know, we used to do a Saturday matinee. You know, I actually went on dates that way because it was cheaper to go to a Saturday matinee. You know, and if, you know, a lot of times, you know, my girlfriend and I, back in junior high and that, we would just walk around town. And, yeah, that was quality time. You got to know each other that way. But, I know to the youth of today, all this sounds boring, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't. It was the best. It was the absolute best of times. You know, you didn't. You made mixed tapes. We had cassette tapes, and we would make mixed tapes off the radio. And of course, you know, with the commercials and the radio announcer talking over the intro and stuff, you know, it made it a little challenging to make it sound professional or anything, but it was good. It was good, and you had all your favorite songs that way. So, anyway, that's all I got, you guys. If you haven't, tell me in the comments your memories. If you're a Gen Xer, tell me what your upbringing traumas were, so to speak. Talk to you later, everybody.